Steve Witkoff, President Donald Trump's Middle East envoy, just dropped some eyebrow-raising comments about Russia, Ukraine, and Vladimir Putin. In a recent sit-down with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, Witkoff didn't just stumble over Ukraine's geography, he let slip subtle hints about where his loyalties might lean in these high-stakes ceasefire talks. First, let's talk about his take on Putin. Witkoff didn't hold back, saying he liked Putin. "I thought he was straight up with me," he added. He even called it gracious of Putin to meet him in Moscow, adding, "I don't regard Putin as a bad guy." That's a glowing review for a leader most of the world sees as a ruthless aggressor. Witkoff went further, sharing a story about Putin supposedly praying for Trump after an assassination attempt last July. Witkoff mentioned how touched he was by this gesture.
When the president was shot, he went to his local church and met with his priest and prayed for the president.
It's a cozy picture, almost like Witkoff's painting Putin as a misunderstood ally of the US president. But then came Ukraine, and that's where Witkoff stumbled. Asked about the war's core issue, he vaguely pointed to these so-called 4 regions: Donbass, Crimea. With Carlson's help, he named Luhansk, then trailed off with "and 2 others." He seemed lost on Donetsk, Kherson, and Zaporizhzhia, regions Russia grabbed in 2022. For someone steering peace talks, that's a glaring misstep. And here's the kicker. He claimed referendums in those regions showed the overwhelming majority of people want to be under Russian rule. That's straight out of Moscow's playbook. Referendums the US and Ukraine have slammed as shams, but Witkoff presented them as fact. Witkoff's not siding with Russia's viewpoint of seeing these 4 disputed territories of the war zone. He's signaling something bigger. Take his comment on NATO. He told Carlson that Ukraine's President Zelensky and his team have conceded they won't get membership. Ukraine hasn't said that publicly. They've been pushing for NATO as a shield against Russia. But Witkoff's hinting the US might be ready to ditch that promise, aligning more with Moscow's demands than Kyiv's needs. And then there's his balancing act. I want to see Ukraine come out of this okay. I want to see Russia come out of this okay. It's a diplomatic tightrope, but paired with his praise for Putin and his shaky Ukraine facts, it's hard not to see a tilt. Is this the Trump administration's Middle East envoy, subtly nudging toward Russia's corner? Next up, Witkoff says a Black Sea ceasefire deal could drop in a week. Talks are heating up in Saudi Arabia. But after this interview, the question looms: whose side is Witkoff really on?